found it. All right, welcome everybody. We are going to go ahead and get started. Just make sure we have ourselves all set up here. All right, so welcome, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for attending today's career exploration panel put together by the Career Education and Workforce Development Department at Glendale Community College. Today's panel is focused on health and fitness and some of the different career options within this field. Today's session is being recorded and will be posted on our GCC Career Education YouTube page within the next few days or so. The link to our YouTube page will be shared in the chat box very soon, momentarily. You can subscribe to the page for easy access to this recording, as well as all of our other recordings that we have in there and future recordings that will be put in there. My name is Brianna Dulay. I will be your host for today, joined by Antonio Del Real. We are discussing health and fitness today, and for anybody not familiar with GCC's programs that we offer, we do have a lot of different programs associated with this career field. We have associate degrees in such areas as nursing, addiction studies, administrative medical assistant, certificates in billing and coding, our fitness specialist certificate, which is newer, which is what we're mostly focusing on today. And we also have some skill awards, which generally take less time to acquire, in EMT, emergency medical technician, medical records, electrocardiography, EKG. We also have a degree in kinesiology and many physical education and health courses for anyone interested in health and fitness. So we do have a lot of different great options for you to choose from. More information on these programs, as well as many others, can be found on our website, which will be added into our chat box in a moment, www.glendale.edu/career-ed. Now, moving into our panelists, we have an amazing lineup of professionals within the health and fitness professions. I will be introducing them one at a time, at which point they are going to share their own personal career journey with you, as well as some key pieces of information from their professional field that they think you could benefit from. After our panelists have had the opportunity to speak, we will have a brief Q&A. So please, any questions that you have along the way, put them into the chat box, and we will be asking them at the end of both of their presentations. And so without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our first panelist. So we have Michael Seril, business owner, fitness coach, personal trainer from the city of Whittier. Michael is an award-winning personal trainer, business owner, and community leader. He earned his master's and bachelor's degree in kinesiology from Cal State Northridge. Go Matadors! He was awarded the 2006 NSCA Personal Trainer of the Year, 2011 Jefferson Award from ABC News, and a two-time Small Business of the Year winner from the city of Whittier. Michael has been featured on local news 9 times and has published more than 100 health and fitness articles throughout his 23-year professional career. Without any further ado, you have the stage, Michael. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can share, yours.
How's everybody doing?
They're all shy.
We got some thumbs up.
I got
good.
thumbs up right here. Let me see if I can get this going.
All right. Well, thank you for having me here. And it's really weird seeing the 23 years that I've been a personal trainer. It's unbelievable. I love it. And previously mentioned, I have owned a fitness studio for the past 15 years. And I did get my master's and bachelor's from Cal State Northridge, 1999 and 2001. I was an instructor as well at kinesiology, CSUN. And the 2006, I was named the NSCA Personal Trainer of the Year. And I believe 2009, I was awarded the Jefferson Award for community service through ABC7. And as you can see here is just some stats and just some little awards that I've won, but I want to talk a little bit more in detail of what we do actually in the community, which I love. And so let's go on to the next slide. And here's just a video I'd like to share. We did a fundraiser for Fix and Fidos, which is a nonprofit organization with Casey Montoya. And a lot of the things we do here in the studio, we give back to the community. That's one of our most cherished times that we do have in the studio, but also giving back in the community is very powerful in what we do as far as what we do in the studio and our mission statement. So go ahead and play the first video, please.
Are you able to see the slide, the YouTube slide?
Let's see
Is
here.
everyone? No? Okay, no, it's okay. Let me try to see if I can share this.
We'll just show one of the videos. There we go.
I'm Casey Montoya, founder of Fix and Fidos, and today Mike generously opened up the studio to do a fundraiser for Fix and Fidos. This is a spay and neuter nonprofit. We raise money mainly to help low-income families pay for spay and neuter. We'll also pay for microchip or vaccines if they need it. And if somebody comes to us and has an unexpected large vet bill, we will also help cover that so that we can get dogs out of shelters. Within 6 years, one unaltered dog and all of her offspring could create over 60,000 puppies. So it's really important that we help protect the pet population here. Bob Barker said it, remember? Help control the pet populations, have your pets spayed or neutered. It really is very important that we need to do here. And we raised a lot of money today, and you know what was better than how much money we raised? The support of everyone who came today, this entire community. So it means a lot to me, and this is not the last we'll see it. So until next time.
All right, thank you. So since we started the studio 15 years ago, we've probably done more than 150 Pay It Forward events similar to this for local charities in the community. And it's such a huge part of our business that I'd love to talk a little bit more in detail about that. Next slide, please. So one of the questions was overview of my occupation. Well, every day, I'm not just a personal trainer. Being a business owner takes on a lot of tasks and responsibilities. So I stated here basically on an average day what I do. I know some of these titles are, it's kind of funny, like the last one, therapist. If you're a personal trainer, you know that that's one of your big titles. Personal trainer, business owner, community leader, which I love. I love all this. Post-rehab specialist. I have a lot of clientele that are 80 plus years old. Strength conditioning coach, older adult fitness specialist, motivator, and therapist. I mean, that's just a really typical day. And I experienced all that already from 5 o'clock this morning till about noontime. So overview, there you go. That's an overview of my occupation on a daily basis. And I love it. I love it every morning I wake up. Next slide, please. What did I choose this career? Well, it all really started loving sports. And once I got into high school sports, I really wanted to learn about strength conditioning, how athletes improved. And from then on, I started studying about it. And so when I went into college, I was a business major, and that didn't work out really for the first 2 years. But the second that I took an anatomy and physiology class, I aced both classes. So it was like, you know what, maybe this is something I should be doing or want to do. And from then on, went on to school, but also I loved all the fitness related things and just overcoming challenges and just helping people. That's truly my passion. So whether it's in the studio or outside the studio, I'm always doing my best to help people. Next slide, please. Wanted to cover about some of the jobs with students out there. I've mentored thousands of students from different universities, Whittier College, Cal State Northridge, Cal State Long Beach, just the local colleges that are around here, even Cal State Fullerton. I've worked with a lot of students. And what I tell them is it's really depending on what you want to achieve and what you want to go after. If you just have a certificate or an associate's degree, bachelor's or master's, you could become any of these positions. If you want to become a personal trainer, business owner, community leader, boot camp instructor, public health jobs, you're not limited really by just what your degrees are. It's really what you're passionate about and what you want to achieve as far as your career. Next slide, please. Skills needed for my occupation. It really took me just 5 seconds to kind of come up with this because, like I mentioned earlier, I've mentored a lot of personal trainers and health and fitness professionals out there. And to me, these are the very, very most important factors. Not just having a job for a year or two, but having a career with it. I've been doing this for 23 years. I love it. I could do this for another 23 years. Number one, passion for helping people. You can fake that for a year or two, but you cannot fake that for 23 years. You have to love helping people. And it's not just in the studio. How about the people that cannot afford your services? How are you helping your community? How are you helping organizations that need help? Especially now, we're continuing to help organizations that have no funding because people are not donating money to them. So we're putting on events that actually will help those organizations. And we continue doing that. And if you didn't love helping people, you're not going to do that. You're not going to go out of your way. Number two, willingness to learn more and more. I'm still learning. Like today, I'm going to learn from all the speakers. I continue to follow mentors in the community or in the industry, Todd Durkin, a lot of these other unbelievable coaches and sports scientists. And I partner with a lot of different physical therapists, chiropractors, medical doctors. I'm constantly learning, and I still spend thousands of dollars every year to continue my education. And that's 23 years later. So you want to be successful in this occupation or in this career, you want to learn more and more each day. And then again, the last one, high energy. I'm providing that every morning. My clients at 5 o'clock will get the same workout at 7 p.m. because I love what I do and it shows every time. So these are the three most important factors I believe in my occupation. Next slide, please. Oops, okay, salary range. Now, that question, to me, it all depends on your work ethic, your passion, and ability to motivate and inspire people. Obviously, if you work hard and work smart, you will make more money, but does that money translate to improving people's lives in and out of the studio? To me, that's more important. If you have a huge facility and you're only helping the people that are paying for your services, to me, that's not enough. You want to help people away from your studio, community involvement. To me, that's what true meaning of making a lot of money. That's my meaning to it. Next slide, please. Suggestions for students. Now, I mentioned earlier, constantly learn from mentors, professors. I was one of those students who I would raise my hand if I didn't understand anything. I would always stay after class to ask questions. If there was an opportunity to intern or do a project on the weekends, I would always raise my hand and be a part of it. You have to become a sponge. I'm still like that. I'm constantly learning, continue to learn from all these leaders in our industry. Grow your sphere of influence. To me, that's probably the most important once you get into your community and how much you want to help people. We have clients here that are community leaders. We have Whittier PD chief. We got like the mayor. He texts me and he says, hey, when are we going to do another event? Just 3 years ago, we raised $8,000 in one night for a local organization. How? I sumo wrestler the sumo the Whittier mayor. We put on 2 sumo outfits and we went right at it. And we raised like $8,000 in one night. I mean, I don't know how many trainers do that. It's kind of crazy. But to me, that's the sphere of influence that I'm talking about. You want to be involved with people that have the same mission and passion as you, not just by personal training or fitness, but also just the love for helping people. So all of our events that we do to grow the studio and to help our community, it's all fitness type related. Something like that, sumo wrestling. So something funny, we'll do 80s boot camp. I just did a 8-hour ruck for charity where I carried a 50-pound backpack and went around a park that I love. And I raised almost $4,000 in a matter of just 8 hours doing that for a local organization. It was actually a food bank. So that's the kind of sphere of influence that I'm talking about. And then never ever think you know everything. To me, that will limit you the second you start that. All right, next slide. Hiring process in my field. I've hired a lot of trainers, but also have let go a lot of trainers. So I've learned a lot. There goes that part of growing and learning, constantly learning. I think the number one factor is willingness to learn and grow. I've had trainers who were great trainers, know all the exercises, know the insertion origin of every muscle, but not a good trainer. Not willing to learn, not willing to grow, not willing to accept the fact that they don't know everything. Obviously, passionate about helping others, that will come out sooner than later, and ability to provide positive energy to clients and the community. That's what I'm looking for as a trainer and as a entrepreneur and as a business owner. I think there's one, that's it. All right, that's it. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michael. Any questions for Michael, put them in the chat. We will be reading those after our second panelist. But if you have any questions in the meantime, go ahead and put those in. I really liked a lot of what you just shared, the importance of taking diverse courses. You know, you started off with business, it wasn't speaking to you, you took the anatomy and that changed your course. That was beautiful. And the creativity of the sumo fundraiser, the sumo wrestling fundraiser, that was incredible. And the importance of giving back. I think that that's really important no matter what profession that you're in. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
We are going to move into our second panelist now, Jessica Rose, owner at Function and Fitness Gym. Brief bio about Jessica. So Coach Jess is a NASM certified personal trainer and precision nutrition certified coach. After losing her father as a result of numerous health issues, Coach Jess lost 30 pounds herself and committed her life to getting other people healthy. After 4 years of working as a trainer and nutrition coach, she bought Function and Fitness in January of 2020. Yes, 2020. She believes that creating healthy movement and eating habits has to be fun and doable. Otherwise, you won't do it. And I could not agree more with that. I turn it over to you, Jessica.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen, I don't have as fancy a presentation. I've just got this one little slide about me. But first of all, before we do all that, right, we're sitting a lot. So let's all just like stretch it out, arms up. Let's stretch. Oh, good. Roll the shoulders back. Good. Okay, there we go. Now I get all my nervous jitteries out. So hello, I am Jessica Rose. I got into training, it's been 5 years now. So we'll start from the beginning. I actually have a degree from Loyola Marymount University in English. So I have an English degree, writing emphasis. I never thought fitness was like anything I was ever going to do. And in fact, I struggled with weight my entire life. So some of those little first pictures there, just kind of in high school, I felt like kind of that's my prom photo, that little pink. I loved that dress, but in hindsight, I'm like, that was not the dress for me. That picture on the bottom with me in the little green shirt, that was me in college. So working out, fitness just wasn't anything that I was interested in. And so when I graduated from LMU with a degree in English, I did what most English majors do. And I didn't do anything because I didn't know what to do with an English degree. And so I ended up working in marketing at a marketing agency with entertainment stuff for 6 years of my life. I knew about every Call of Duty before it came out. I am not a video gamer. Like I can do Nintendo gray box Mario original, but anything that I was working in, I didn't care about. And I spent 6 years at a marketing job, like on the computer, absolutely hating it. The good news is I met my husband at that agency, and he was like, you hate this, just quit and we'll figure something out. So I quit my job, and I kind of coasted for a while. I didn't really know what to do. I was like walking dogs and like doing some blogs and just really random stuff. I didn't really have any direction. And then my father got sick. He'd actually been on dialysis, like kidney dialysis stuff for 10 years. He got sick and he passed away. And so when he passed away, I realized all of my unhealthy habits were things that I had learned from him. And the gym, for some weird reason, became my therapy. So, after eating boxes and boxes of Famous Amos, which is why I put that on the slide, and going through that coping mechanism, I got my butt to the gym, and I was on that treadmill. I was on the Stairmaster. I was like learning how to lift weights, like what's a deadlift? I didn't know what that was, but I wanted to try it. And so the gym just became, it was therapy. It really was. Like when Michael mentioned that we're therapists, like the gym as a whole is just like a therapy center for people, which I think is why we're all having such a hard time with everything being shut down. It's just, that's our spot. So in the process, in my morning process, basically I lost 30 pounds, and I realized that food and health are the most important things that we can have. And so I wanted to be able to give that back to people, and for people to have that experience of feeling really good in their skin. So the picture on the far right is me and my husband working out at Crunch. And we were there at like 3:00 in the morning, because that was when, like, I don't do that now. I've got 2 kids now. I'm awake at 3:00 for other reasons. But we were at the gym in the morning because it was so crowded. That's when we could get in, and we would just kill it. I would do, BOSU burpees, anything I could do to just like get that rush. So after going through that process, I fell in love with fitness, and I decided to get certified as a personal trainer. And so I'm certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, so NASM. And after with NASM, you have the option of opting in for like an internship program. And so I was restarting my career at 30 years old, and I was like, if I can take a certification that then places me in a gym, then I'm going to do that. And so I got placed at Function and Fitness, where we work with like an older population. We've got some younger people too, but mostly people in their 50s and 60s who just want to move and feel really good. And so it felt really good to be in that community, because I wish my dad had found a community like that, because hopefully, he might still be around if he had done that. And it really, the people kind of are such my family, and I've been working with them for 5 years. And so after doing that, one thing I really, really learned is it really is about the community. Michael, you're so spot on. It's about like being with those people every day in the morning when they can't do it. You're there, you're their therapist, you know all about their grandkids, you know all about their families. And that's how I'm kind of paying honor to my dad in a lot of ways, is like just being there for these people. So I also was certified through Precision Nutrition, which is a nutrition coaching affiliation and certification, because food is so huge. Like food is the biggest part. You can't eat boxes of Famous Amos cookies and then walk on a treadmill for 16 hours. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And so I decided, okay, I need to like know a little bit more about food and stuff. And so I got certified as a nutrition coach. So that's kind of been the process. And I was kind of working as just like a coach and just as a nutrition coach for a while. And at the end of last year, the previous owner decided that she wanted to step away from the gym. And so I bought it. So bought the gym officially. It was in my name on January 1st. And we all know what happened this year with gyms and everything. So January 1st, gym was in my name. On March 16th, I had to close the doors. We have done, we were able to, luckily, because again, our community is so strong, we had a really strong Facebook group. And so I closed the gym, I think it was on a Friday. Monday morning, we were on that private Facebook group. We were doing workouts for people at home, and everyone tuned in with their soup cans and their water bottles and all the at-home fitness equipment that we all kind of have, you know? And so we kept people moving and moving and moving through that. And a couple months ago, I was able to open up parking lot workouts. So every morning, rain or shine, because we've had lots of both, freezing cold temperatures, I have people in the parking lots. We are moving, we are trying just to stay motivated and healthy and, you know, and good through all of this. So it's been quite a crazy journey, going from having an English degree to walking dogs to then losing my dad and getting into fitness and then buying a gym in the year of 2020. So that's kind of my full story. That's where I am now. So I'm going to just kind of address kind of some of the questions. Definitely for the skills that you need for this occupation. I think Michael, you know, head on the nail. You've got to really care about people, and you have to care about people even when you like don't really want to care about people. Like, and I say that because, right, this year has been absolutely insane. And there are times when I know personally that I have had to almost step away from people just for a couple hours so that I could be okay to then serve them. Because you really, really have to, what's that adage? Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. You really can't. You have to make sure that you are doing the things for yourself so that you can do those things for everyone else. You have to get inspired, and you have to stay inspired, and you have to find the mentors and the people in your life that will keep you inspired. And the days that you're not feeling it, you have to be able to acknowledge that, give yourself a break, and then, you know, find ways to get back into it, because it's a lot, and it can be a lot, because you do become people's therapists. And I always joke that I should have gotten my degree in therapy, because I think I do more of that kind of coaching than even personal training stuff. I mean, obviously you need the personal training, but you have to really be a good ear, and you have to know when to shut your mouth and let other people have their space. It's a huge, huge part of it. So if you are like, if that doesn't sound good to you, then I would maybe reconsider, because you'll spend a lot of your life just like listening to other people's problems. So so I all of you who are like actually getting a full degree in fitness, like go for it. I wish I could go back in time. Like I love my English degree. Like I can write a really good email, but I wish I had done something fitness or nutrition related, because that's really where I ended up. And obviously you have to go through whatever your journey is going to be, but good for you if you're like really obsessed with fitness right now and you're already doing it. Like just keep going with it. The thing that I would suggest, and I know it's kind of hard, but we're kind of in a good position right now. Like Michael said, like be a sponge. If you can reach out to a trainer, or if you find someone that you really, really like, you like their vibe, reach out to them and just see what you can do to maybe, shadow them for a couple days, see what they're doing. One of the things that really, you can read books all day. Like you can read your manual, you can know exactly what a proper squat should look like biomechanically. But until you start working with people directly, you're not going to know anything about how to coach them. I remember after getting my certification and being an intern at Function and Fitness, I had a couple coaches who were so good with me. They're like, Jessica, fix that squat. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, because our bodies are so different and so weird. And so if you can shadow someone or even just watch how people move, that is going to tell you so much about what you need to do to find the things to fix their form. So just watch people. I know that sounds so creepy. Like just go watch people, but like just watch how they move, watch how their shoulders are sitting, watch where their hips are sitting. And just really just study them. And then I'm just looking, looking at the notes. Helpful tips in the hiring process. So I've been in an interesting position because I bought a gym in 2020. So I actually haven't really had to hire anyone. But what I would say, I shouldn't say that. I literally just hired someone. Be willing to learn, to be the person in the room that asks all the questions. I think, Michael, you got it. You have to be willing to say, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to start, and just be ready to ask all the questions, and don't be afraid of asking the questions. Like I think especially when you graduate with a degree or you get certified, I think we place a lot of it's a lot of pressure on ourselves to think like, okay, well, I know all the answers. I read all the books. I did all the tests. I passed the course. But we're not always going to have all the answers. And sometimes it takes Googling or calling a mentor or just finding the answer and not being afraid to say, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. That's definitely been for me, like this year with COVID. There have been so many moments as a gym owner when I've just been like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try and figure out the best course for my people to keep them moving. And having that one kind of set vision of what I'm trying to achieve, it makes it all good and wonderful. Like if I can say today, I need to get 20 people into this parking lot and move. How am I going to do that? I don't really know what I'm going to do. Do I have to call the city to get parking? Like, what do I need to do? But once you have that vision, you figure it out. So, as kind of, one thing I do want to say, salary range. This is an interesting one because what I will say is, yes, you have to kind of define what success is for you, but I think salary, honestly, sky's the limit at this point, because now that everything's online, you can coach people online. There are people who are creating fitness programs. There's so many things with fitness, because I think we're finally realizing that we need to do something to stay healthy, right? We need to like just globally be healthier on a different level. So however you want to affect as many people, like Instagram, TikTok, all those things, I would never say follow a TikTok trainer, but there are so many ways that you can impact people. And there's so many revenue streams because of all those ways. So the old days of like, oh, I'm a personal trainer, I make like $20 an hour. Those are kind of, I feel like you can just anything, just go for it. You could open multiple gym locations, like anything you want. Don't feel like you're just going to be a trainer in a park for $20. And then I think at that point I'll leave it. I know we've got questions and stuff, so I don't want to, I could just ramble on all day, but we won't do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica. I just want to highlight a couple really important things that you talked about. I mean, it's all amazing, but definitely speaking to our, we have a student audience mostly here, the shadowing, internship, mentorship, those are really important things to seek out no matter what profession you're looking at. The best way to get a snapshot, a little peek into it, is by asking somebody that's in that profession, or to be able to just see them for a day in what they do. So that is super important. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. And flexibility, all those in-person services were hit very hard with this pandemic. So you had to be flexible. You had to think on your feet. And you're saying Friday you shut down, but Monday you're open with these virtual services. That doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it literally did, but that doesn't usually happen that fast. So the flexibility piece is extremely important. And then self-care. How do you help others if you're not helping yourself? So that another really important piece I wanted to just highlight. So Antonio, do we have any questions? I don't know that I saw any come through.
No, does anyone have questions for our panelists today? Feel free to unmute yourself or type it into the chat.
And if not, I have a question or two. I know we're a little short on time. We have gone over, but I think it's important, if you guys have time to stay on with us a few extra minutes, that we get a little more information. And while we're giving everybody a couple more seconds in case they want to type in a question, if you are a student that will get extra credit for being here today, if you could put your name into the chat, first and last name. I have had a couple instructors ask for a list of students. That would be great. I know not everybody has their last name as their participant name, so I just want to be able to provide the accurate information. Any questions come through yet? No. Okay, so I have a question then. One, this is going to look very different than what it typically does. So you could go with what it looked like pre-pandemic or during pandemic, but what does a typical work schedule look like in your field that you're in right now?
I'll answer that. So my typical day, it involves teaching boot camp in the morning and having private clients in small group for 5 to 6 hours in the morning. And then I go home and work out at a park and walk my dog. I usually have a break about 3 hours in between each of my shifts, Monday to Thursday. And within those 3 hours, I answer emails and make phone calls, go to meetings, well, Zoom meetings now. And then I take in clients and classes again in the afternoon. And I do a lot of paid forward events on the weekends or Friday afternoons when I'm off. Typical day.
So I'm actually a mom of two. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old little boy, like 2 little boys. It's basically Michael's day, but with a little added running around, a little added workout. So typically, like I could even name today. So today I was at the gym a little after 5. I'm a little bit crazy in that I really am a little bit OCD. Like with the parking lot stuff, I make sure that our cones are up at 5:30 so people can't drive through the parking lot. And I set everything up for my classes. So I pull a lot of the weights out of the gym. Obviously, if it wasn't COVID, I wouldn't have to do that, but that's a huge part of my day. So bringing all the weights out, getting everything set. And then I run 3 classes in the morning. And then I have a little break where I come home to my little boys. And then I am hoping and so grateful when they go down for a nap, because then I get 2 hours to do all the admin stuff that comes with owning a gym. So it's responding to clients via text message or emails, figuring out what memberships are going to be coming up for renewal. I can schedule in at that point, I can schedule in my nutrition coaching clients. Ideally, at that point, my day would be done when my kids wake up. That's not the case right now. I'm kind of just like having to super hustle. So tonight I will go back to the gym. I have 2 more parking lot classes, and then I have a secret workout with my best friend. I let her come into the gym. We like let it all out. That really comes down to me needing, that's my self-care, is that hour in the gym. And then I'll come home, I'll shower, and then maybe get a day off one day. Sundays, usually I try to keep really completely clear so that there's nothing going on. But usually it's a morning and a night, and your midday is kind of when you do all the stuff that like you can't do when everyone else is working out. So.
Awesome. It sounds like you both have similar schedules. There's the morning, a little bit of break in the middle, and some more stuff later in the day. It's important for, if people are looking to get into this, understand the types of schedules. And then one last question, and then we will let you guys go. What are some challenges that you faced in your career journey? You guys talked about a couple of them, but there's anything else that kind of stood out that you think other people could relate to in your career journey or current position, anything that just stood in your way?
Yeah, I can take that one first if you're good.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think one of the biggest things that I really noticed was that you can go into the gym, you can train people in the morning, you can train people at night, and you kind of burn out with working out. I mean, one thing I really noticed for me was like, okay, I'm not working out for me personally. Because you're in the gym and 3 to 4 hour shift in the morning and then going back at night, and it's like, well, am I going to spend my whole day in the gym? And sometimes you do. And so sometimes you'll find that you've been working out all morning, but you're not actually working out. And so then you don't really want to work out yourself. So that was one of my big things that I noticed early on was, wow, I'm not actually working out. And when you're not actually working out, you kind of lose connection with your body and what it feels like for people to work out. So you kind of forget about the struggle, like when the struggle is really real, you totally forget that. And the other things to really, again, I will always go back to making sure that your cup is filled, but you have to make sure, weird times a day, right? You're usually training people when you would be eating breakfast. So you have to really kind of make sure that your own personal feeding schedule and all that stuff is really locked in, because it's so easy to just forget about it. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges for me, was like, now that I'm doing this as a career, I'm not taking care of the things, and I'm not doing the things that I tell other people to do, basically.
Good.
Did you have anything you wanted to share, Michael?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions from fitness professionals that are contacting me, and the number one thing that I think a lot of them, especially the ones that are coming from a university level, juniors and seniors that are about to graduate with a kinesiology degree, their number one question is always, should I start a gym? That's, instead of working at a facility or those big box gyms, working at a park, things like that. How do I transition from that to having my own gym? And I always tell them is the first 2-3 years, you want to get as much experience as possible. I was a personal trainer, a fitness director, fitness manager, all the above for 8 years before I opened my studio. And now we have a 5,000 square foot facility. Now, would it have worked if I didn't do all those things first? I'm not sure, but I learned so much from those experiences so that when it was time for me to open a gym, I was ready. So I always tell these trainers, don't be so quick on owning a gym, because there is a lot of responsibilities with it, but at the same time, you can still change people's lives by not owning a gym. So when it's time when you've had a lot of these experiences, 2-3 years, and it's time for you to open your facility, then open it, be a risk taker. But don't be such in a hurry before you, because again, there's a lot of responsibilities involved. So that's one of the things I mentor these trainers, is the transitioning and putting themselves in situations to learn first and then move on with it later on.
Definitely, that could be a challenge, not having the right information going into something like that.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to be with us today. This was truly amazing. I learned a lot of information. Hopefully our guests here did as well. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are going to be closing out.
Nice meeting everybody.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm keep breaking in and breaking off from the Zoom class. Well, actually, anyways, I was just asking, like, what do you recommend if you haven't been around like fitness and you're trying to get involved? Like, for example, so you can open your own gym or just be a part of that. What's the first thing you recommend? And I'm speaking to. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name because I'm driving. Well, I was driving, but it's through the app, so I'm trying to listen as much as I can. But to the guy, what do you recommend that how to open and how to get involved in the?
Oh, okay. Probably my number one suggestion is talking to a few people that own gyms, or you want to be around them. You can, I mean, depending on where you live, I'm sure there's some, super fitness studio owners where you live, or because I would just go there. I mean, at the end of the day, Jessica mentioned earlier that you want to shadow and just learn from people. That is really the best way, because right now there's not going to be a lot of seminars and conventions. My first 10 years in the industry, I was spending a couple of $1,000s a year going to conferences all over the country. And I was a speaker as well, would perform better, and NSCA, all these things. So I was learning that way from all these awesome coaches and trainers. It's changed a little bit now. So instead of just learning through Zoom, like something like this, which is also great, ultimately you want to go and learn from these individuals firsthand and check out what they do. And if you don't like it, go on to another one. And if you find an individual or a trainer that you interact with really well and just love their passion and energy and the same philosophy of yours, then I would stick to that and learn as much as you can from that individual.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Oh, we have another question in the chat box. Do you feel, or are fitness trainers being welcomed into a more clinical setting for rehab and working with seniors?
Yeah, I would say definitely. I actually know a couple trainers who, when I started working at Function Fitness, I had trainers that I was working with that actually also worked in physical therapy places. So they would kind of go back and forth. And I think as we continue moving towards this understanding that movement and fitness are such an integral part of health that we're going to see more doctors and trainers working hand in hand to really kind of create an overall, health program. I know that I personally reach out to a lot of doctors and physical therapists. And I think, Michael, you mentioned that too, that you're always kind of working with people to kind of craft a full scope program for people. So I definitely see that there's going to be a lot more going forward. There are also, I know a lot of like insurance companies too will kind of supplement gym memberships too. So we're seeing even the insurance companies kind of understanding like, we got to keep people moving. So, yeah.
So 50% of my business, the last 15, 17 years do come from the medical community. I work with doctors. I do seminars for hospitals all over my community. So I've partnered with like three medical doctors, cardiologists, and 2 internists. And I have 2 partners that are physical therapists. So I do post-rehab. That's majority of my business. So so I have a medical exercise specialist certification and an ACSM certification. So if you're going into the business of personal training, the next 15, 20 years or so, you have to learn post-rehab, because most individuals that are come through that door are going to have issues already. So if you don't know how to take care of them, you're not going to be able to have a successful long-term career. So I've been fortunate enough to continue that philosophy and the relationship I have with, I actually just got 2 new clients this morning from a medical doctor, just explaining to me what their clients need. So yeah, definitely that's a huge population that needs to be taken care of, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for trainers to take advantage of working with seniors.
Do you find that those are usually like word of mouth, or do you find those clients through connections with specific doctors?
Yeah, so when I do my seminars at medical facilities, these doctors actually have my cell phone, so they'll text me. They're the ones texting me about possible patient will attend, or will contact you. And once they sign up, then I chat with the doctor about what are their not conditions, but limitations, since they can't really tell us everything. But yeah, it's worked really well. I mean, I have clients that are in their 70s and 80s that have had spinal fusions, hip replacement, shoulder impingement, shoulder reconstruct. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. So that's one thing with this pandemic that's really just continued my business and actually has grown it, is the one-on-one opportunities. So our group classes have stabilized, but our one-on-one, we have like 200% more PT clients now, because people do not want to go to a group setting, some of them. But these elderly clients, they have to be one-on-one clients. They can't go to a boot camp class. So our PT clients with seniors have actually grown even more.
All right, so we have one last question in the chat, you guys. You've been so amazing and patient with us for going over. This is for Jessica. Student wants to study both nutrition and fitness trainer, and wants to know if she can do both things for clients, training them and also giving them a diet plan.
Yeah, so depending on how far you want to go with nutrition gets a little bit sticky, because I only have a certification, so I'm not a registered dietitian. So if someone comes to me and says, I'm diabetic, can you give me a prescriptive meal plan? I can't do that, but I can get on the phone with their doctor and talk about the foods that they can and can't eat, and then I can put together a meal plan for them. One thing that I've really found is early on, I kind of struggled with getting my nutrition certification, because it was like, well, at what level can I actually talk to people? But the thing is, every client you have is going to need the food component. And so you just want to make sure that you know as much as possible, but also know the scope. Like if you need to kind of refer out, or if it's something that you can actually kind of, work with them on. So it really depends on how far you want to go with nutrition. Like if you want to become a registered dietitian, then you can talk all day about food, and you can give diabetics and kidney patients, you can do all those things. I try to stay within my scope, but the reason I got my nutrition certification is because I was talking about it so much. I just wanted to know more so that I could give people, kind of a better understanding of things.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both again so much. Thank you to our audience for hanging in. Those were amazing questions. Hopefully you got to learn a little bit more information. Again, this will be posted on our career education YouTube page, so you can go back and watch at a later point in time as well. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much for everything.